Hello everybody, welcome back to the Spoked Wheel YouTube channel. Today we're back with episode 12 of the Andy Schleck Pro Cyclist playthrough. We should have a pretty exciting episode today because last time out we picked up our first ever victory and in the process went into the overall lead at the Flèche du Sud. So we have the final two stages of that stage race today. The final one is pretty flat, so really we should just have to defend the jersey on this stage 4, which is fairly hilly, so maybe we could even extend our lead and gain a little bit more time. And then we also have the Winston-Salem Cycling Classic to finish off the month. It's another one where it's a little bit hilly, so we could be in contention for a decent finish in that race, but I would say our main focus of today's video will be hopefully winning the overall GC at the Flèche du Sud. So we're going to get straight into it. We have those final two stages to try and defend the jersey. I'm not entirely sure what our lead is right now, but I'm pretty sure it's only 4 or 6 seconds based on bonus seconds. So we're going to have to be careful and be on our guard to make sure we don't let any dangerous riders get away. But let's get straight into it. Hopefully we can hold on and take the win. Alright, so we're into stage 4 of the Flèche du Sud. As you can see, we're in our snazzy black and white leader's jersey. And our team basically just wants us to defend our lead and keep our place atop the general classification. So we don't have any incentive to win the stage or anything like that. They just told us to defend our lead and finish in first on GC again. So we will try to do that. As you can see, sort of in the middle third of the race, there's some bigger, more sustained climbs, and then in the final third, there's 3 shorter, punchier climbs, 2 of which are category 2, and then the third one, although it looks to be the same climb, is not categorized. So definitely opportunities for riders to attack and try and gain some time there, so we'll just do our best to keep an eye out and try and respond to any moves that are threatening to our GC position. We're just inside of 60 kilometers to go now in this stage. The peloton really split up over that second category 2 climb of the day. It was down to only 19 riders at one point. It looks like the chasing group is coming back now, but we were able to stay in a good position and make the front split, so that's a good sign. I have all the riders in the top 10 of the general classification highlighted just to make it easier for the stage to know who to respond to if they attack. So as you can see, a lot of them are also in this split, although I believe the rider in third place is not, so who knows, there could be some shifting in the GC, but yeah, so far it's going pretty well, I think. We're inside of 20 kilometers to go now. We've already been over this final climb once. It's pretty steep right up towards the top, but overall it's not the hardest climb in the world, so I think we shouldn't have too much trouble staying at the front of the peloton and defending our position. The peloton itself is now down to 33 riders, so there's a lot of riders who are out the back on today's stage, which makes sense given how much climbing was involved. But yeah, we're just kind of sitting up at the front. I want to make sure that we're not caught behind too many other riders. We do actually have a lot of teammates still left with us, which is nice to see. Yeah, we still have 3 teammates at the moment, although Rakita is out of energy, so maybe dropped before too long. But yeah, that was the climb there. Pretty short, steep up by the top, but I don't think there's really, to be honest, I don't think there's really enough room for an attack to go over the top of that. So I feel pretty good about our chances to defend. I think basically the race will come down to bonus seconds. So maybe we even want to try and launch an attack on the final ascent to give ourselves a bit more of a cushion. That might not be a bad idea. because our lead is only 4 seconds over the rider in second and then 6 seconds over the rider in third, which very easily could switch based on bonus seconds. So let's give it a go over this final climb. We'll see if anyone follows us or if we can get a gap. I'm going to wait until the steep section right up at the top because I think that's the best part to go. Yeah, so let's try at least. We got a gap straight away. We're inside of 5 kilometers as well now. So let's just ride here. We actually got a decent gap. One rider from Lotto Soudal Development Squad, I would guess, is following us. He's not contributing at all to the pace, so we're just kind of driving it ourselves. But it's mostly downhill here to the finish, so we very much could be in with another chance of a stage victory, or at least grabbing a few bonus seconds. We just ran out of energy there in the final few meters, so he's able to come around for the win, but we took second, which should give us 6 bonus seconds. I don't know if we'll get a gap as well. Probably not, because it looks like they finished pretty quickly after us. But let's check out the results and see whether or not that got us a little bit of additional time. Alright, so there's no time gap between us and the rest of the front group. But we did grab 6 extra bonus seconds. So instead of being 4 seconds up on second place, we're now 10 seconds up on second place, which is a little bit better because even if Daniel Pearson wins the final stage and gets 10 bonus seconds, and we got nothing at all, we would still be even on time theoretically. So that's a little bit more of a solid lead, I guess. As long as we finish in the front group and Daniel Pearson doesn't win the stage, we will have wrapped up the GC, I think. So that is good news. We essentially let out this guy, Henry Vandenbelle, for the stage win, but in the end I think it was worth it because we really did need to grab those bonus seconds for our own GC push. And after that second place, we've also leveled up to level 6, so we get another skill point and another choice of improvement of attributes. So I believe last time we upgraded our potential. Yeah, we did. So we're done with that. We're just focusing on attributes from this point on. So if we did stage races, our climbing would go up 1. Same with our time trial. That's not a huge increase, to be honest, so we'll see if climbing would just give us +1 to that, although it looks like the secondary would be better. How about puncher? Puncher would give us +1 to the hills, so it's not a great batch of upgrades, I guess. The fact that stage racing doesn't give any resistance upgrade at all is a little disappointing. I might honestly do climber to get that 1 resistance. The 1 time trial from 58 to 59 isn't really that much of an increase. I think maybe we'll wait to do stage racing until we get more of a boost to our time trial, because right now with 76 mountain and 58 time trial, we're going to be winning races with our mountain rating, not with our time trialing. So I'd rather have that increase and then also get a better resistance and stamina and things like that. So let's go with climber for this one. And for our skill point, we put the last one into networking to give us more leeway with contract negotiations. So let's put this one into our fitness peak, just so we can peak for a little bit longer and stay at our best. It might help us win a few races, which might attract more interest from teams down the road. We're now into what appears to be quite a rainy stage 5 out of 5 in the Flèche du Sud. And for the second straight stage, our team's objective or instructions to us is just to finish first in the GC. So They want us to defend our position. We definitely want to defend our position. Not a whole lot to do in this stage, I think, besides basically just try and finish in the sprint with the front group. Maybe if we come to one of these sprint points and there's bonus seconds available, I'll try and grab a few just to solidify the lead before the final sprint. But other than that, I think it's pretty much just about staying in a good position, and once we get towards the finish, picking the wheel of a sprinter to follow to try and just finish as high as possible to defend the lead that we have. Like we said there at the end of the last stage, I feel a lot better about a 10-second lead than I do about a 4-second lead, so I'm fairly confident that we'll be able to hang on and win this one. There's not really any opportunities on this course for big gaps to open up, so we're just going to sit up at the front of the peloton. Just keep an eye out to make sure nothing crazy happens, but I think today will just be relatively nice and easy, and will really just come down to the sprint finish. We're heading into the final 10 kilometers now. The chase is still on because, as you can see, there's 3 riders from the breakaway still up the road. Looks like they're running out of energy right now, though, so they should be caught before the finish. We're just going to try and get on the wheel of Brenton Jones here, if we can. I think he'd be a good rider to follow in the sprint, although they don't want us to follow him right now. David Decker would also be a good choice. So let's see if we can follow David Decker. There we go. Alright, so everything all together at the front of the race. David Decker is one of the big favorites for the stage. We're just going to try and follow his wheel here into the final 5 kilometers. I don't anticipate being able to win this stage against the sprinters, but my hope is that we'll just finish with the first few riders to cross the line, prevent any time gaps from opening up, and secure the win in the general classification, which would potentially be our first GC win of our career with Andy Schleck. So it would be a big one if we got it done. We're about to hit the final kilometer here. We're still on the wheel of David Decker. The sprint's opening up. Let's sprint ourselves. It's going to be Enzo Wouters to take the stage ahead of David Decker. Oscar Sevilla up there as well. And we actually got 5th, which is pretty solid, just ahead of our teammate Colin Heiderscheid in 6th. So pretty good results on the stage for the team, and that should be enough to win the GC. So let's take a look at the podium and see whether or not that's true. Here we go. So the stage won by Enzo Wouters, with us in 5th. General classification won by Andy Schleck. That's a very unique leader's jersey with the black and yellow dots. I like it, but that is our first GC victory with Andy Schleck. So it's a big day for the young Luxembourger. We didn't win Best Climbers classification, but we get the points classification, 7 points ahead of David Decker. So our stage win and then our second place on the 2 hilly stages definitely helped us with this competition. And, of course, we also win the Young Rider competition. So, all in all, 3 different classifications that we win in this race. And we did also finish 2nd in the team classification, just behind Canyon. So, very good showing all around. So here's the final GC. We kept our 10 and 12 second lead over the 2 guys in 2nd and 3rd. David Decker was 4th in the end. We also had a teammate, Miguel Heidemann, in 11th, so that's a pretty good result for him. But I'm glad we were able to take the win in the end. After we won that stage 3, really, I think it would have been a disappointment if we didn't hold on, but I'm still happy that we were able to do so. We are into the final race of today's video, the Winston-Salem Cycling Classic, and our team would like us to work as a teammate and ride at the head of the group for 25 kilometers, I think it was. So we're going to go ahead and do that, just try and get as much XP as possible. Realistically, we're probably not going to be one of the main contenders to win this one. it is hilly towards the end, but from playing this race in the past, I know that it usually does come down to some sort of sprint. So we'll just do our riding on the front of the peloton, try and shoot for that exceptional evaluation, and then I guess just hang out near the front of the peloton and see if we can't pull something off by the end of the race. We are now heading into the final 10 kilometers of the Winston-Salem Cycling Classic. We badly need a water bottle. Our teammate Moss has been trying to get us one for, I don't know, like 10 kilometers at this point. So that's not quite ideal. But we're following the wheel of Adam Tupolik, who's one of the big favorites because of his sprinting ability. He's now having to close down this gap. Robin Carpenter going on the attack for Rally. As you can see, there's like one final little climb up to the line, which is basically where the race will be decided. So we're just trying to stay in a decent position ahead of that, and I don't really know what our expectation for this is. Maybe we could get a top 10. I'm not entirely sure, but that was a pretty solid move up front. We're gonna have to bring that one back. There's a few different riders riding to do that right now, but Robin Carpenter's still in the lead now as we head into 2 kilometers to go. We're on this final climb as things are kicking off. We're still in a pretty good spot on Tupolik's wheel, but once he opens the sprint, we just can't really go with him. So we picked the right wheel because Adam Tupolik wins the race, but just didn't have the power in the sprint. We still did get that top 10, 8th place, so I'm very happy with that for a climber in what is basically a sprinter's race. That's a very solid result. So that's it for the racing in the month of May, and that's also going to be it for the racing in the video in episode 12. I would say that was a pretty solid installment. We got our first GC win. We picked up a lot of XP points, leveled up, and almost made it halfway through level 6 already. And we've got some exciting racing coming up next month with the Mont Ventoux Challenge and also the National Championships. So got some things to look forward to. I think the season is really kicking into gear here in this midway point. Where contract negotiations are going to pick up. I'm hoping we'll be able to find at least a pro continental team to ride with next season so we can hopefully try and get into some World Tour races, but we'll see how that goes later on in the series. Yeah, I mean, solid episode. Good to pick up the first GC win. I hope that there will be plenty more of those to come as the career of Andy continues. So thank you to everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.